When Mia and I reached our third wedding anniversary, everything seemed to be going smoothly. We weren't in any rush to start a family. We liked the freedom we had. Weekend getaways, spontaneous late-night movies. Doing whatever we wanted, it was our thing. Mia was always full of energy with a spark that never seemed to fade. She was funny, smart, and just reckless enough to keep life interesting. But there was one thing about her I always noticed. Whenever she tried to lie, she couldn't hold eye contact. I'd picked up on it early in our relationship, back when we were dating. She'd get nervous, glance to the side, and her hands would fidget like she was searching for an exit. It wasn't a big deal at first. In fact, I found it kind of cute, like having my own built-in truth detector. That spring, Mia started talking more about needing a real vacation. She mentioned how work was wearing her down, and she felt like she needed a break. Beaches, cocktails, the whole escape package. I wasn't feeling it. I had a huge project at work and couldn't just take 2 weeks off. Plus, I wasn't really into beaches. Give me a mountain lodge or a city trip any day. But one evening during dinner, Mia put down her fork and casually said, "Maybe I should just go without you this time." I wasn't thrilled by the idea. Her out there on beaches, hanging out in bars. It didn't sit well with me. But Mia quickly smiled and added, "I'll go with Jenna. Just a girls' trip. Spa days, yoga on the beach, nothing crazy. I promise." Jenna was her best friend, recently divorced, and still acting like it was spring break every weekend. I didn't love the idea, but Mia looked so hopeful that I hesitated. I trusted her, so I finally nodded. "All right," I said. "Go blow off some steam. Just don't end up on a reality show about party disasters." She laughed, clinked her glass against mine, and we moved on. At the time, I thought saying yes showed how solid we were. Looking back, though, it just showed how easy it is to be blind when you trust someone completely. The night before she left, I helped her book the flights and even gave her some extra cash for shopping or whatever she wanted. She was buzzed with excitement, and honestly, I felt good about it. We were just two people who trusted each other, no questions asked. But I had no idea that letting her go was going to be the biggest mistake I'd ever make. Mia left on a Wednesday morning. I dropped her off at the airport, kissed her goodbye, and told her to have fun. The first few days, everything was normal. She kept in touch. Selfies on the beach, boomerangs of her feet in the sand, videos of Jenna wiping out while trying to surf. She texted me late at night, "Miss you, Jimmy. Wish you were here." I missed her more than I thought I would, and the house felt too big without her. But around day 5, the text slowed down. No more videos, no more calls. I figured she was just having too much fun, or maybe her phone was out of service. Still, a knot began forming in my stomach. One night around 11, I sent her a quick goodnight, babe text. It sat on read for hours before she finally replied. "Night. Super tired. Love you." It didn't sound like her. Mia always added little hearts or inside jokes to her texts. This one felt distant, mechanical. Even the next morning, I texted again. No answer. I called around lunch, but it went straight to voicemail. I told myself I was just being paranoid. Jenna was probably being a handful. Maybe Mia was trying to keep up with her. Maybe they were off on some tour without cell service. But that night, lying in bed, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. When she finally messaged again 2 days later, it was just a blurry photo of some market with the words, "Been busy. We'll catch up later. No miss you. No love you." I stared at my phone for a long time, feeling the first stirrings of suspicion. That moment should have been a red flag. But instead, I convinced myself to wait. She'd be home soon, and then I'd know if I was just overreacting or something else was going on. Mia came back on Sunday evening. I picked her up at the airport, standing by baggage claim, feeling a mix of relief and something else I couldn't quite name. She looked great, tanned, glowing, maybe a little too glowing. She threw her arms around me like everything was normal. "I missed you so much," she said, squeezing me tight. I hugged her back, but something fell off, like hugging a stranger who smelled like my wife. On the drive home, she talked nonstop about the trip, the beaches, the food, the late-night bonfires. Jenna this, Jenna that. It almost sounded rehearsed. When we got home, she dropped her suitcase in the living room with a sigh. "I'm dying for a shower," she said, heading upstairs. I stayed by the suitcase, hands in my pockets. "Hold up," I said, half teasing. "You didn't come back empty-handed, did you?" She laughed a little too quickly. "Of course not." She knelt down by her suitcase, starting to dig through her clothes. As she moved things around, I caught a glimpse of something new. Lingerie tucked between her regular clothes. Bright colors, lacy and expensive looking. Not her style, not even close. I didn't say anything, just kept watching. Then she froze for a second. Her hand hovered over a little black bag hidden between her clothes. She handed me the bottle slowly, as if it might burn her fingers, flashing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Got you some local rum," she said. "Supposed to be amazing." I took the bag, peered inside, and saw a bottle of rum wrapped in a cheap souvenir T-shirt with a cartoon dolphin on it. "Thanks," I said, setting it down. She laughed a little too loud, shoved the suitcase aside, and disappeared into the bathroom. I stood there holding the bottle and the silly shirt, wondering for the first time in my marriage what the hell Mia had been doing when she stopped texting me back. For the next few days, I tried to push it out of my mind. Mia acted like nothing was wrong, almost too normal. She cooked dinner, laughed at my bad jokes, even suggested a movie night like we used to have. But the more she acted like everything was fine, the more I noticed the small changes. Her phone never left her side. She'd change her lock screen password, and late-night texts came in that she quickly flipped face down. One evening, while she was in the shower, I glanced at her phone on the counter. A name popped up, Brady. The profile picture was of a tan guy with a cocky grin, no shirt. I didn't know any Brady. When she came out wrapped in a towel, I casually asked, "Who's Brady?" Her body tensed, but she forced a laugh. "Oh, just some guy Jen and I met on the island. He organizes the snorkeling tours." "Harmless?" I asked, playing it cool. "Right," she said, though it didn't sit right with me. "Harmless enough to text you at midnight." Mia frowned. "You're reading too much into it, Jimmy." "Seriously?" She kissed me too quickly on the cheek and disappeared into the bedroom. That night, while she slept beside me, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, the weight of it all pressing down. The next day, while she was out at the grocery store, I pulled up the resort's Instagram. There were photos, videos, reels, tourists laughing, staff members fooling around. Then I found it. A video from a beach party, a bonfire at night with music blasting. There, front and center, was Mia laughing and dancing with a drink in hand. Brady had his arm casually slung around her shoulders, and they were close. Too close. Their faces were inches apart, like they were about to kiss. It wasn't just a vacation for Mia. She had a whole other life when I wasn't around. That night, I couldn't pretend anymore. After dinner, Mia was curled up on the couch, scrolling through her phone, pretending not to notice the way I was staring at her. I set my beer down with too much force. "We need to talk." She looked up casual. "About what, Brady?" I said flatly. Her smile twitched, but she kept her calm. "I told you he's just some guy." I cut her off. "I saw the video, Mia, the resort's page. You were hanging all over him like a groupie." She set her phone down slowly, her face going pale. "You're overreacting," she said, her voice tight. "It was just dancing. I leaned forward, my voice cold. "You were 2 seconds away from kissing him." Silence fell. I waited for her to come clean, to be honest. But instead she said, "You're paranoid, Jimmy. You're making something out of nothing." And there it was, the lie. I could tell she wasn't sorry for what she'd done, just sorry she got caught. I stood up. "Pack your things." She blinked at me, confused. "What?" "Now, Mia," I said, her eyes filled with tears, but I didn't budge. She tried to talk her way out of it, but I wasn't listening. 15 minutes later, she was packing a bag, wiping at her face with the back of her hand. She paused in the doorway, suitcase in hand, mascara running down her face. "It didn't mean anything," she whispered. I swear, I didn't say anything. I just closed the door behind her and locked it. The house was quiet after she left. I sat there for a minute, staring at the door. Then I turned off the porch light and went to bed. The next few days were brutal. I didn't tell anyone right away. I worked, I slept, and I worked some more. Anything to keep my mind busy. Then Jenna called. Her voice was low, uncomfortable. "Jimmy, I think you should know. Mia's not doing great." "Yeah," I said flatly. "Actions have consequences." Jenna hesitated. She went to the clinic. She wasn't feeling right. They did some tests. I didn't say anything, waiting for the punchline. She tested positive for an STD. Jenna finished quickly. She thought you should get tested too, just in case. The final kick to the gut. Even after everything, Mia had managed to leave behind one last mess. I thanked Jenna, hung up, and sat there for a long time, feeling a kind of anger that didn't have edges. It was just heavy. I got tested the next morning. Thankfully, I was clean. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers were filed. No drama, no fighting over stuff. She didn't even try to contest it. I heard from a mutual friend that Mia rented a tiny studio across town. Word was, she looked rough, thinner, paler, quieter. The same friend said Mia told people it was just a mistake, a stupid vacation fling. Mistakes have a way of costing you everything. It turns out that when someone burns your life down, it doesn't leave you wrecked for years. Once you clear out the ashes, there's a lot of space to rebuild. 6 months after Mia left, the house felt like mine again. I repainted the walls, threw out the old mattress, and bought a new one. Fresh sheets, fresh start. I even took a trip, a real trip, not a sad escape. I went to the mountains, not the beaches. Cold air, big skies, no one lying next to me, pretending everything was fine. I spent my days hiking and my nights sleeping in places where my phone didn't work. Standing on a cliff, looking out at the valley below, I realized I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. Mia tried to reach out once, some long rambling email about apologies, and wishing we could go back. I didn't answer. I deleted it without reading past the first line. A few weeks later, I went to a barbecue at a friend's house. Jenna showed up with her new boyfriend. At some point, I pulled him aside and quietly told him what really happened on that trip. I didn't want to blow up their relationship, but if Jenna was planning more girls' trips, I thought he deserved to know what those trips could really mean. He didn't say much, just nodded once, sharp and grim. After that, I let it go. No revenge, no late-night rants, just me living the life Mia threw away. Better than ever. Sometimes when I think about it, about how close I came to tying myself forever to someone like her, I actually feel grateful. She gave me the best gift of all. She showed me exactly who she was before we had kids, before there were mortgages and anniversaries stacked up like landmines. It's better to bury the marriage than bury yourself. I sleep a lot easier now knowing that the next time I fall in love, it'll be with someone who knows how to hold eye contact when it matters.